Authorities say some people are trying to make hash oil at home and it's dangerous. You soak the pot in butane. You can find it at most hardware stores. The chemical extracts the THC from marijuana. The problem is the fluid can catch fire and explode. This small, colorful piece of paper is an example of what a dangerous drug can look like. See how teenagers are using it to get high. Have you talked with your kids about the dangers of sex trafficking? Just to search online, you'll find all kinds of sex ads for Hampton Roads. Coming up here, one victim's story and why your kids could be at risk online.
Investigating this new trend, and Karen, several young people have died from this drug.
Yeah, Regina, according to the DEA, between March of 2012 and August of 2013, 19 people have died from overdosing on 25I. Officials say all the deaths were young people between 15 and 29 years old. One parent who lost her son wants to send out a warning.
He was the love of my life. He was my everything. It's a pain that's truly unbearable.
Susan Wadsworth had never heard of 25I or synthetic LSD until her 18-year-old son Noah died from the drug.
Noah had a bad reaction right away. The guy said, "I've seen this before, he's having a bad trip, just get him fresh air, he'll sleep it off." He died in the backseat of his friend's car.
So did Anthony Carlson, the straight-A freshman at Arizona State University, died from getting high on 25I. Authorities are worried the drug could cause more deaths nationwide. Oftentimes, the drug is easy to miss. 25I can look like this colorful piece of paper.
You basically put it in your mouth underneath your tongue and it gets absorbed into your mouth. The saliva in your mouth kind of dissolves the paper and the drug goes into your system that way.
Portsmouth police say 25I also comes in powder and liquid form, and the drug is popular on college campuses.
They're known to be at parties, big parties, whether it be a dorm party or fraternity parties.
So you could be at a party and someone could drop a little of this drug into your drink and you wouldn't even know it.
That's correct.
They have no clue what they're walking into.
Dr. Brian Rubenstein, emergency physician at Bon Secours Maryview Medical Center, says it's challenging to treat patients who overdose on synthetic drugs.
We can't detect them like we could classic drugs that we have some urine tests for or blood tests for.
Authorities say most of these drugs are made in China and shipped back to the U.S. The lab conditions are not regulated, so each new batch of 25I can have different amounts of chemicals. That's why doctors say it's hard to know how the drugs will affect you.
Elevated blood pressure, which can have other serious effects. If it's high enough, you could have a stroke from that, in theory.
With 25I, there's a greater chance of death if you try that drug.
Correct.
After more than a dozen deaths nationwide, the DEA banned 25 in November. But drug makers are staying one step ahead of the law.
They may add a chemical or add two chemicals to it and change the name of the drug, and it's no longer this drug, it's this drug.
Because of advances in science, new chemicals that used to take years to develop are now taking months, even weeks. Wadsworth is speaking out because she doesn't want another teen like her son to die from 25I.
I find that it helps me to feel like something good could come out of it.
And so far, there have been no deaths in Virginia with teens using 25I, but you can see the map here of the U.S. All these states here in red, 25I has been found. Virginia is one of those states. Karen Hopkins, 13 News Now.